Well, everyone, welcome to CASCAR. We are here tonight with the Black Designs Cup Series, where we're at Homestead-Miami Speedway, which was built in 1995 and is reconfigured as is the 2003 configuration onwards. We're here right now in practice with not too much time left to go, about 3 minutes left. Currently, Stephen Black holds up the board in first position with Daniel Michael behind him and Richard Drake in third. These guys have been duking it out for the past 50 minutes, trying to get that top spot on the practice leaderboard. A lot of these guys have been pulling really fast laps at the moment. The current best lap is set by Stephen Black with a 31.103. I mean, I know that he's the series sponsor, but wow, he's absolutely destroying it with these lap times out here. Right now, we're going to follow along with Nick Shriver as we continue on into the night. Homestead-Miami Speedway is one of the best racing locations in Florida with its amazing road course and all of its amenities. It's a brand new speedway as Nick's into the wall there. Bit of a spin. Not too much time left, so it figures these guys are getting a bit out of there. But newer speedway, and it comes with a really good amount of racing here, especially with the CASCAR group. These guys are very good at what they do. We remember from Daytona. I love how I talk about how good they're doing as someone goes into the wall, but it's what you do. In any case, we remember from Daytona, these guys were able to hold themselves up really well and put on a fantastic show for over a 3-hour stream. That was 2 weeks ago, and now we're heading into the second points paying race. Michael Jennings won that Daytona race, and he is now going to be putting on a good battle for points this time around. Although, I remember talking to him before, he said that he's not very confident in his speed around ovals like these. So that's really going to turn out. I think it's going to be soon to be shown. In any case, I think it's better we talk about some of our race info. Welcome to the Florida's Natural 150. It's going to be 150 miles around this continuous turn oval. With over 1,000 palm trees lining the racetrack, I think it's going to make for a beautiful spectacle, especially as we head into the night rolling forward. Got a long event ahead of us, and I think it's really going to look really well tonight. Thank you to anyone that's joined in so far. I do appreciate it, and it won't be too much longer before we get into our race session. About a minute left in practice. Just a few more guys rounding out their laps to see what they can finish. This is Richard Drake right here, currently running in third. Daniel Michael, he's pulling off. Is Steven? Yep, Steven still is in the pits. Well, he set the fastest lap time. I don't think he feels too much pressure to have to go out and go faster. Although his teammate is of Daniel Michael is very close behind him, 0.012. His new Raise Energy paint. Well, if you're looking for fantastic paint schemes like the one that he's running, and a lot of the people out here are running, make sure you check out Black Designs. They're the fantastic sponsor for this series, and I know that they would absolutely appreciate you checking Steven out to get your fantastic paint scheme tonight. Alright, well that's going to be the end of practice for the moment. And, well, until then, until qualifying, that's going to be it for me. I'll see you guys soon. Well, after winning the last race, we're going to follow along with Michael Jennings, as he's going to be setting, I believe, a blistering qualifying time. So, let's follow along with him now. Here he is at the moment. All these guys are getting ready to roll out. I'd like to present to you our brand new overlays brought to you by Pierce Graphics. I'm sure that if you need your nice ATVO themes, you should check out Pierce Graphics today to get your amazing looking ones. So right now, Jennings is doing his first lap around. Let's see what he does. See that 86 machine for Great White North Incorporated. Sure, right now he's hoping to make sure he gets on the front. Homestead-Miami, not a track known for terrible wrecks, but one that you do not want to be involved in, as the variable banking can make it difficult to recover. 18 degrees to 20 degrees is what it is looking. So there it is. That is going to be your fastest lap so far, a 31.6. Around one more time. Wow, looks like that lap's going to be a little bit scuffed. Unfortunate. But that's qualifying for you. In any case, I think that it's going to end up being a fantastic race session going forward. I know it's a little bit of a struggle for some of these guys to really turn out fantastic laps where they just keep going faster and faster, but it is something you do have to do here at Homestead-Miami. It's a very competitive track. We see going into the nighttime especially, the groove is going to be changing. I know that that was a bit of a discussion last time once the race ended, was how are the grooves going to be looking? And sure, iRacing may not be the most perfect simulation, but I do think these guys are naturally going to be moving themselves up into a different groove as the race goes forward. It's something they are going to want to be mindful of as well. So, I don't know. I think it's really going to be important to see what goes next going forward. In any case, I am going to do a short interview with your previous race winner, Mr. Jennings. Mr. Jennings, it's Noah Walter up in the booth. Can you read me? Doing pretty good. How are you doing with your qualifying session? We did see that. That was a bit unfortunate. It looked like your second lap was going to be absolutely blistering, too. Yeah, sadly, it's kind of what happens, you know? It sucks that your race can sometimes have those unfortunate incidents during qualifying where you just do get loose.
Yeah.
How do you think you're going to do tonight in terms of position?
I'm shooting for another top 10, to be honest with you. Like I said in my post race last week, these mile and a halves, I'm more strategy than anything else. My speed isn't quite there with guys like Greg, Brandon, and Steven won a series high of 9 races last season, I think. So I'm definitely not up to par with those guys. If I can keep it underneath me and just be patient, I'll outsmart some of these guys and come home with a decent points paying day.
Well, we did see with your win that you are quite competitive, so I know it's very easy to humble yourself and kind of mentally prepare yourself for not getting a great position. So I think if you keep your head in the game, you will, as you said, get another top 10 finish.
Oh, absolutely. That's the goal.
I'm sure you can do it. If anyone out there can, I know you will, especially as you won the last race and got the most points available.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt.
No,
Hey, I locked myself into the playoffs, so that's all that matters, and the All-Star, so.
exactly. I know that All Star is going to be a fantastic event that I'm sure everyone's actually excited for.
Oh, I am. Definitely. It'll definitely be easier this year. Last season I had to win my open to get in, then I managed to pull a bet bunny out of that hat and took away the win. So,
Yeah, that I'm glad that you guys have had such a good season one, especially you. I know that you said that Steven won so many races. I wasn't here for season one, so I can't even, really elaborate on it too much.
yeah, season 1 was fun. We've got a lot of our core group of guys that have come back for season 2, which is phenomenal. We've got quite a few new faces, which is also absolutely amazing. So this season should be a lot of fun. Expect big things out of everybody, to be honest with you.
So far, from what I've seen, I absolutely have. I mean, with how few cautions we had at Daytona, it's already showing me that it's going to be quite a race.
Oh, that's what we're aiming for.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for your interview time. I really do appreciate it. Is there anyone else, in case you don't get one of those beloved podium spots where I can't interview you again? Is there anyone you'd want to thank out in the audience?
I'd like to thank all the fans that are tuning in to us tonight. Like to wish my competitors the best of luck, and let's go get her.
All right. Thank you very much for your time. I do
Thank you,
appreciate it.
buddy.
All right, everyone. That has been your previous race winner, Michael Jennings. All right. Well, not too much time until we go into the session once again to get to race time. So, till we get there. And hey, thank you for the follow. I do appreciate it. Let's get ourselves up to that 50. We're super close. Well, until we get right into the race session, which will only be a little bit away, I'll be right back. All right. Well, let's go for your qualifying order so we can see who is going to be put where. Let's see, that's if it wants to tell me. Because I don't think it does. Never mind, it doesn't want to tell me. Very cool. Love it when it decides not to go through the qualifying order. Anyway, you can see Stephen Black there is going to be on the pole with the number 25 of Daniel Michael going to be on his outside. Then in the second row on the inside lane, that's going to be Rational Richard Drake. Then on his outside is going to be the number 39 of Brendan Fiedler. Then Greg Snellgrove is going to be on the inside of the third row. On his outside, I believe that is Jeffrey Belk, if I'm not mistaken. It is! Look at that. So those are going to be your top 6. That's who I can tell from the camera up here. And I think that it's going to make for an absolutely fantastic race as we continue to go through. And we're about to go green. Yes, thank you. If need anything else out there, let me know, and I'll adjust audio as it goes. I know my microphone can be a bit quiet. My apologies. And loud song. There we go. All right, well, here we are about to go green here at Homestead-Miami. It's going to be Stephen Black going to be leading off the field. I think it's going to be making for a fantastic race tonight. There it is. That's the pace car off. And there they go. Green flag, and away we go here at Homestead-Miami. Stephen Black is off to a good start. That's going to be the number 39 of Brendan Fiedler going down to the bottom, pushing everyone else behind him to check up. Looks like 39 is going to pull all the way down now. Does not want to get in the way, it seems. The rest of the pack is rolling by, and that's Stephen Black just pulling away in that 98 Toyota Camry. See Daniel Michael behind him, trying to maintain it, his speed through 3 and 4. He's able to do it, and he's keeping up speed. There we go. That's Richard Drake there on his outside. That's going to be the number 55 of Jeffrey Belk as they continue to race through. You can see the pace all these guys have. They are absolutely moving throughout this track. Down the backstretch they go. That's Stephen Black still in the lead. He keeps pulling up. That's now a half-second lead he has. See, the rest of your field up here is continuously trying to catch up. You can see the two there of Rob Carroll. He's trying to catch up to Greg now. They're following quite closely now as they're looking very close together. That's a wreck right there in the backstretch as the caution comes out. Wow. Okay. Give me a second, and we're going to go take a look at that, because that was quite a wreck. All right, we're here with the number 4 of Cody Schneider. Let's bring up the in-game so you can see what that is. See that 4 car right there. Right in that outside lane. 85 gets loose. He goes down, gives him a tap, comes back up, and that causes the 4 to go down in. You can see it's the best camera angle there, but that just causes a huge drag. It's the 85 on that one, so a lot of these guys had to go in for repairs. Wow. You can see just how much he rolled off that one. Absolutely unfortunate that it had to happen this early on in the race. I was just saying earlier that the Homestead-Miami is not known for its ridiculous amount of wrecks, but it looks like everyone is out here trying to prove me wrong. Still, these guys are going to be able to move quite quickly, and I'm sure that they'll be back into it quite short. All right. Stephen Black is still going to maintain to be your leader here at Homestead-Miami, lap number 5 of 120. There we go. There he is behind the pace car right there. Everyone else is going to be catching up. You can see a lot of people were caught up in that one. You'll see as the ticker on your left-hand side of the screen continues to roll through. Wow. unfortunate. Looks like Jackson Qualley was not quite able to make it, so Cody Schneider is going to be kind of like the main person that got caught up in that, which is unfortunate, along with Matthew Malvana and Nick Shriver, Michael Kenzel, and more. Kenzie, sorry. A lot of these guys are just ready to go once more. It does not take a long time to really get all the cars bunched up and honestly just completely prepared. I mean, on the 600-acre property, there's just a lot you can do. Sadly, the road course will not be used here tonight, but that's probably for the better. There's Jeffrey Belk. He's going to be running in third position in that 55 machine. For TG Racing. All right, there they go. That is going to be too wide now as we're about to go back to green. So, Stephen Black will be your leader once more. Uh-oh. And I think that that's going to make it for an absolutely fantastic race. All right. Sorry, Mike. I have this new overlay stuff, and it has been. It looks great, but it's still got to prepare it just a little bit more and get used to it. So there's Stephen Black. He's going to be your first place position once more. Pace car is off. There it is in green flag back at Homestead-Miami. These drivers are absolutely ready to go. Look like there's a bit of a bunch up towards the rear there. As they now go 3 wide into turn 1, it's just the start of the race. Looks like some of the cars are having a little bit of an issue maintaining speed, and it looks like their poor start is going to be putting them far back. Stephen Black off to a fantastic start once again, as we now are going through 4, and Stephen Black is going to get another lap led. Daniel Michael, his teammate, has so far not been able to really keep up. He keeps keeping a gap of about 0.4 back now. Jeffrey Belk, who's won the shootout in Daytona, is now going to put some pressure on to see if he can get through and make something happen. See them all running through the backstretch there. Gotta love it when that happens. There's Richard Drake behind him. A lot of these guys towards the front are running a bit more in single file compared to the rear, which is a bit more bunched up. Brian Fradienne is behind them in that 81 machine. Greg Snellgrove is going to be behind them. At 22, we've seen him be fast in the past at Daytona, but can he keep up that speed here at Homestead? We still may be in Florida, but just because it's Florida means it's a wholly different racing surface just a couple miles down the road. There's 4 lakes on the inside of this track, and that is going to be very weird to think about. As they used the rock from the inside of those lakes to fill the banking originally. However, as it's continued on throughout the years, with the 2003 configuration onward, it is a continuous oval, as I've said before. There's Rob Carroll in the 2. Looks like he has a little bit of rear end damage. I think caused from that start where he got a little bit of a bump going into turn number 1. These guys have to be mindful of getting their collisions in, as sure, the X's may not be too terrible. Your incident points, that is, for anyone at home that is not completely familiar with iRacing. Getting your incidents in can lead to a penalty, so they are going to want to be mindful of the incidents they are getting. see Rob's fastest lap at the moment is a 31.797. However, that is not our absolute fastest lap. Jumping back up to your leader, that's Stephen Black. He is now over a second ahead of his teammate, where it's only been the start of this race, but he's still just absolutely moving. I'm not quite sure how Steven does it. I mean, obviously that I rating you can see right there, 4,239. That is absolutely insane. So it kind of explains why he has such a gap with him being so quick, but with Black Designs on his side, I think it is giving him a little bit of a speed boost. I'm sure everyone else at home can see that on your left-hand side as the second of a gap. The gap of a second just continues to grow. Jeffrey Hill behind, though, is going to make sure that he's putting the pressure onto that number 25 of Daniel Michael. You can see them now running through the back in his iRacing paint job. You don't usually see too many paint jobs like that from the iRacing service. You usually see the nice Trading Paints ones, but they all look good anyway. It's always so good to see fantastic paint schemes throughout a league. Ah, yes. Make sure you call out the people that you appreciate over in the stream chat. There's Rob Carroll right there. I see, let's go, number 2. That's going to be Rob Carroll. Currently running in 7th position. He's doing quite well. A little bit of a pressure on him from Brandon Fiedler, who's running in 8th position in that 39 machine. I haven't seen that paint before. Look at that. Looks pretty good. There's 22 of Greg. Carl, not Carroll. Oh, man. Oh, my apologies. Thank you. We're having a great night tonight. It's been 2 weeks since I last streamed here for CASCAR, and I think it all takes its toll. There's Brian. He's currently running in 5th position, keeping up the rest of the field. That's Greg, though, looking on the inside, looking to see if he can get through. I said before with the grooves that sometimes it can be a bit of an issue trying to determine which groove is the best. Looks like Greg, for the moment, has that figured out, and he's now up into 6th position. You can see behind them, you just got to pick which one works for you best. A lot of people like to run that very high line groove, as it does usually work out in their favor. There's Stephen Black continuing to be your leader as this gap continues to grow up to 1.73. Wow, absolutely just pulling away from the field. So for anyone that's watching here, you can see the line that he's taking. He's trying to stick a bit more to the middle, and he is pulling away. It looks like trying to stick to that middle line is helping him the most. Let's see what he does through turns 3 and 4. Dives down just a little bit, not running towards the line, just above that line there you can see in the tarmac, and then kind of diamond scored on the way out. Apparently it's working because he is just rolling away. I imagine there's a good balance of brake that helps that really make the difference. You can see with our track info, the track temperature is listed as 79 in our bottom there and 77 on the page. But the wind speed, that does make a difference here as it's now moving in the northeast. I don't think anyone's really pit for tires or anything. Yeah, I think aside from our original people that got caught up in that wreck, who did have to come in for complete repairs. It's silly to pit early now. So in the battle for first position, you can see the gap that will be right there. Stephen Black in first position continues to extend the gap he has behind him. What a race so far it's been, and these guys are just rolling away with it. There's Jeffrey Belk there running in 4th position ahead of Brian Fradian. let's see what that battle is. So that's the battle for fourth at the moment. And that's almost a second gap. 0.75, just about ahead. Getting your cars all spaced out does create a gap of things where these guys have to just hunker down and really fill laps in. You can see a little bit further back there. There's looks like a little bit of a battle brewing. So that's the number 34 of Kyle Mundell. He's going to be running that bottom line, trying to get by. He's past Michael York now in that 48 Lowe's car. You can see there, that's 34 continuing to ride that low line. And it looks like it's working for him. That's Kyle Mundell, the 34 ahead, as he now has to fend off Paul Ems from behind in that 28 machine. Throws a block down with his Waller Brewing machine. Then there is going to be Patrick Coluccio on his outside. You can see how close they are. Sometimes getting a bit too close here on iRacing can cause some net code, but it looks like they're able to handle it pretty well. But now they have to decide which line is going to be the fastest way around and which one is going to give you that short-term game. That's something you don't really think about too much at these short tracks. I say short tracks, it's a mile and a half, but any tracks really, you have to balance how much you're going to be pushing in that short term versus your long term. It's not Daytona, like we've seen before, where you just hold it the entire time trying to get as fast as possible. It just doesn't work. You have to actually determine what is the best line to use, and these guys right now are trying to find the one right here, which one will get them that short-term gain. So that might cause for killing your tires a little bit, but Stephen Black, who now has a 2-second lead, doesn't have to worry about that. Saving his tires is going to what allows him to stay in first position. All right, that's Patrick now coming in on the inside of the number 28 of Paul Ems. Can he? Nope. It looks like he's going to back out of that one, allowing Michael York in that 48 Lowe's to go on his outside. I'm sure a Jimmy Johnson fan like him knows just how to take it around Homestead. Jimmy Johnson's won a couple championships here, which I think is going to be good for him. All right, that's Patrick now. It looks like he's losing a bit of speed there, as he's now filing behind the number 48. Jumping up ahead to the 81 and the 55, that's Brian Fredian and Jeffrey Belk. Looks like they're closing in, and they're trying to see who can get by the other. So that's going to be the 81 there. Looks like he's trying to run a lower line while Jeffrey's running the outside. With the variable banking, that means on the bottom it's about 18 degrees. On the outside, it is 20. So it's not ginormous banking, but pretty steep when it comes to terms of other banks. I apologize for the camera doing that. Looks like iRacing decides that it wants to hold the camera in one spot. Go up to the blimp view right up here, and we can see just how close they are. That's Brian Fredian there, and the one that's a little bit behind, and with the yellow numbers. Coming down to the bottom once more, Jeffrey on the outside, looking a bit more matched now as they come through, and that's going to be a bit of a drag race now. Yeah, Jeffrey's just able to have a bit more speed coming out of there. I'm not sure if it's due to him having a bit better tires or just trying to save. I'm not sure. But that high line is allowing him to keep that run and stay ahead until now, where it looks like Brian is going to be the one getting ahead. We can see here that with Brian in front, he now has to put a good defense on, as if he tries to run a shorter line, it is going to kill his tires, but that will allow the 55 to save as well. You can see from the marks all along that outside wall, these are not from our session. Those are just ingrained from iRacing. Running that high line, while it can be fast, and that's usually what the actual Cup drivers do, it can be a little bit sketchy. I know with the new tire update, it is something you're allowed to do a bit more without having to worry your car is going to be sucked in to the wall, which is good. And it is going to make these guys, if they do decide to stick that outside line, a lot easier. There's Brian there. Continuing now to pull away a bit more from Jeffrey. It looks like they had their battle, and that's going to be the end of that. Looking a little bit further back in the field, here's Paul Ems. He's going to be putting the pressure on Ron. Rob Carl, that is, because I was saying that wrong earlier, and I did last week as well, which is great. But here's Paul. And he's now going to be shooting on the inside of Rob. Can he get through? Looks like not quite. They're going to be quite evenly matched going down the backstretch there. Although that's going to be enough space potentially for Sylvan to get a draft and provide some difference. All right, that's Paul Ems by now. He's clear. He needs to decide if this is going to be the line he continues to take. Riding that low line, it can be a bit sketchy, as you do not want to lose too much time from your tires getting worn. But it looks like in this case, he's going to be perfectly okay. Sometimes just hunkering on and getting these laps in is all that you can ask. There's the number 9 of Wes Gallo. I thought he's usually the 7 in any case. There he is in the 9, and he's going to be on the outside still, able to save his tires. Looks like Greg is having an issue. Ah, yes, Greg came in from pit road. Looks like he hit the wall or had a bit of contact somewhere and got some damage, and now he is going to be going into the pits. Not an incredibly long pit road, but one that you do not want to go in nonetheless. Yep, you can see some damage there on the 88 of Tyler Hallahan right there. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. Not quite sure what happened for them. Looks like Tyler's lap down now. Jump over to the 39 now, and it looks like Brandon and Kyle are going to have a bit of a scruff as they continue to race through. Commentator's curse, I swear. That's the 34 now pulling away and does not want to give any position up. There's Jeffrey Bell coming into the pits as well. I think these guys are noticing that tire fall off. I mean, they've been able to keep up pretty good pace, but it's what happens. You can see the battle on pit road right here. Okay, cool. Stephen Black on the pits is now going to be the one pulling out. Sometimes that first pit stall really does give you the best advantage, as now his teammate is behind him and has to stay behind as they continue to exit the pits. There they are. Still, even with coming into pit, Steven is the lead car on the one lap down gang. However, you can see on the left-hand side of your screen, he's running an 8th. I think it shows how much of a lead you have when you come into pit and you only get lapped down to 8th position. It shows just how fast that he was able to go. Thank you everyone for coming in to watch the stream. I do appreciate it. We are here with the Florida's Natural 180. Stephen Black is currently running in 8th position, and Brian Fradian is going to be your leader in the number 81 machine. Kyle Mundell's in 2nd with the 34. But it looks like that 81 now is going to be coming into pit, as he does not want to stay out and lose his advantage that he had due to tires. Michael Jennings, we were talking about him earlier. He was in our interview. He is now running in 4th. I think he's... Nope, there it is. That's 3rd. I think now he is going to be satisfied with getting that top 10. However, we're only going to be going into lap number 40 of 120 here at Homestead-Miami. That Black Designs paint reminds me, hey, make sure you check out Black Designs. They're the series sponsor for CASCAR, and you're going to want to check them out for continued racing with the Black Designs Cup Series. There's Michael Jennings now catching up to another lapped car. Does not want to continue forward, but now he is going to be leading the race. Look at him go. I say satisfied for, just doing well, but I think if he can get that win so we can have a 2 in a row, I think it's going to make him feel just a little bit better. He has come into pit, so it is not as if he's on dead tires. He has an advantage, and I'm sure he's going to use it. That's the 85 into the wall, causing him to slow down, and now he has to give up some speed, and that number 9 is going to pass him. So 12 seconds back in 2nd place. That's the number 82 of Clint Mata now, who's coming into pit, and now he's going to be filed back even further. But there's Stephen Black up into 2nd position now as the pit cycle rotations continue. That puts Stephen Black into 2nd position. But he is also 16 seconds back. That is a huge gap. Now, I know that Jennings was saying earlier that he is not the best at these 1.5 miles, especially the ovals, but we see that gap dropping, and I think, at least for the next while, potentially up even to the next caution, which could be at any point, honestly, or until the next pit stop rotations. I think that Jennings is pretty safe, as that is quite a gap he has. Daniel Michael is the next driver back, running in 3rd. He is a close gap of about half a second, which would normally be a decent one, but that qualifies as close with how intense these guys are. Make sure you shout out your favorite driver in the chat section, as I'm sure that will give him a little bit more of a boost to try to just do that bit better. There's Rational Richard Drake up into 3rd position with that 41 Toyota Camry. Continues to run well, and it looks like he's going to remain competitive throughout the rest of this race. It looks like I was a bit wrong, though, earlier, as Michael Jennings had to go into the pits. Unfortunate. So, Stephen Black continues to be your race leader once again with his Raise Energy, I didn't mean to say rage, Toyota Camry. Now, this is a section where I need to tell you to crank up your volume so you can listen to these great cars, and I'm going to be quiet. Well, never mind. As the caution is coming out, we'll have to do that in a little bit. All right, so that is the caution out. I need to go figure out what was up with that, and I'll be right back. All right, I think I have it right here. So right now we're going to be following with the number 85 of Matthew Malvania. So he comes in, now entering 4. Looks like he loses the car going down, comes back up, skims Jennings, but he slams on the brakes and is down low, gets skimmed by a couple cars, and I believe that is what brings out the caution, as you can see it waving there, because it looks like there's no other spins on track. Unfortunate that you had to end up in a situation like that just to bring out the caution, although it does mean that Stephen Black had to get slowed down. So whether you view that as an advantage or not, well, in any case, it's what happened. So under that caution, it looks like Stephen Black has pitted again, although it has led to Richard Drake taking the lead. There he is in his number 41 Toyota Camry in first position. Behind him is going to be the number 55 of Jeffrey Belk in his Toyota Camry. And then behind him in third position, that's the 39 of Brandon Fiedler in his Toyota Camry. There it is. That is your... Oh, man. In terms of actual positions and not lapped cars like you see in front there, that is all of them in Camrys. Now, I'm not sure if that's a sign, but if I've ever seen one, I think that's gotta be one. Richard Drake, with his number 41 now, is going to be starting on the inside lane unless he chooses outside. I believe you do get lane choice as leader. Choose cone rule is not in effect. Oh goodness, I'm not sure what you did there, Jazzy, meant to get yourself caught by Nightbot. Don't make the bot angry. That's my advice. Don't make the bot angry. It's okay. You can see the number 55 of Jeffrey Belk there is going to be getting the one behind there. So there's number 9 of Wes Gallo. We haven't seen him too much. He's been running a bit towards the mid-pack, but now he's up into 5th position in his number 9 Ford Mustang. There he is with the Richard Petty race. Richard Petty Motorsports, like, swoosh on the side there. They probably have an official name for it. I just don't know it. It looks weird on a Ford Mustang. I have to say, it does. I'm so used to seeing that on a Chevrolet, where it's weird to see it on something else. Still, I'm sure that right now he is absolutely happy, even with this bit of a damage, to be in 5th position. Even under pace, that engine sounds so good. I can't... It just does. Am I behind? I am. Okay, well, we're back under green flag. That's what I get for not skimming as much as possible. That is going to be Richard Drake there as your leader. He's chose that inside lane and is going to be pulling away now from Jeffrey Belk on his outside. Goes up to throw a block, and Jeffrey is going to stay on that outside. It looks like your top 3 are all going to stick to that high lane and a little bit towards that middle now as Richard goes through 3 and 4. I don't think they're going to fight each other too much. All worked in together. I mean, we've seen it before in the actual NASCAR, where they say, you know, with the cars with the same manufacturer, they're not your allies, they're more your friends. You know, you don't want to be enemies against them. Although I say that as Jeffrey Belk now is going to be throwing a fight with the 41 as the caution comes back out. Give me just a second and let's go see what that was. All right, we're following along with the number 29. Oh, it looks like there's a trading paints issue there. The number 6 in my system, but number 29 in trading paints, what you'll see of Brian Morrison. So it looks like he gets a little bit loose going to the corner there, hits the wall, comes down, gets rear-ended by that 82, rolls down, collects the 15, and that is what brings out the caution that we saw. Unfortunate that so many drivers had to get caught up in that. It is sadly stuff that happens here at Homestead when you get into an accident. Sometimes that banking, it's not like Bristol where it instantly just sweeps you to the bottom. It actually kind of allows other drivers to get collected with you, which can be very devastating for your race. We see here with Richard Drake, he continues to be your leader. He's going to be the one trying to take away as much as possible. We saw Stephen Black early on getting tons of lead laps, but it looks like Richard Drake is going to be the one to watch. Back in 8th, you can see there on your ticker on the left-hand side, that's the number 98 of Stephen Black, the Grace Series sponsor of Black Designs, in 8th. Is he going to be able to put up a fight? He's got a decent amount of people around him, and we've seen so far those drivers are not slow. So he does have to put up a fight to get around them, especially if he does not want to use up all of his tires. It is something he will have to be mindful of. Well, won't be too much longer until we approach the halfway mark. I think it's going to provide for some more interesting racing. I know that a lot of these guys out here are absolutely just ready to go, and I know they don't like cautions. I don't think anybody does. You always have to just sit here and wish they were over. But I know for these guys, a little bit of a break is good, especially with how long these races are. You have to be mindful of that too. Especially if some of them are doing racing earlier, their arms can get a bit tired, having to, work that wheel back and forth. We've seen many actual NASCAR drivers talk about, even with iRacing, just getting tired and having to decide when is the best time to push and how much of that caution you're going to use to just let your arms rest. So keeping these guys in mind, I'm sure right now that there's a bit of anxiousness in the air, as going past lap number 60 is going to provide a bit of a challenge in terms of what is going to be the right play what is the right play. Because if you push too hard, you're going to kill your tires. And if you kill your tires, obviously you're slower. But if you don't push hard enough, you're going to end up 4 laps down and not having enough time to push. So what their decision is going to be is totally up to them and will completely determine what happens in our next couple of laps. In any case, the competition caution will be thrown at lap number 60 unless they qualify this one as a bit too close and not needing it. But we'll see if that's the call they choose to make. Well, they go back to 2 wide now. Let's join back into the session and see how they're doing. There's Rob as they go down the... Nope, Richard Drake as they go down the back stretch. Almost ready to go once more. So with Jeffrey Belk on the outside, we've seen him running up a lot. I wonder if this outside lane is going to be the thing for him that allows him to push into that realm of going faster. Pace car is going to come off soon. All right, there it is. The pace car's off. There it is, green flag, and away we go here at Homestead-Miami once more. I just finished our 3rd caution of the night. Jeffrey Belk snoozing a little bit on that outside lane, that inside moving quick. Richard Drake off to a fantastic start. Brandon Fiedler off to a fantastic start as well, getting himself up into 2nd position. And it looks like now as we re-enter the stretch, everyone's filing out a little bit more. I say that, but you can still see a little bit too wide racing back there. These guys are going to continue to run as best as they can as they're trying to put up with the harsh conditions this track runs. Go back a little bit further. That's the number 34. Trying to watch that attack. That's Steven there in that yellow car. You can see him. Let's get a little bit closer of a camera. Steven is trying to throw an attack to see if he can get himself into a leading position. Started in 8th. From that restart up into 6th. Clearly he's doing something right. That 98 Toyota Camry, we've seen it so fast. He's just had a little bit of bad luck for our shootout and for Daytona, but otherwise has led so many laps in both. So here at Homestead, can he chase down Richard Drake, who is keeping a gap of about 0.3 seconds ahead of Brandon? That is going to be the question we have to keep intact up to see if they throw that competition caution. See Jeffrey Belk up here. He's going to be chasing down Brandon to the best of his ability. That's Brian he's on the outside of. That is going to be the fight of 3rd position. Look at that drag race, though. Looks like that outside lane just gets a little bit faster as they're able to shoot on by. Although, you enter the corner, that middle lane that they're both trying to ride at the moment is pretty competitive. Looks like they're not going to try to push each other a bit too hard. I imagine one of them is trying to hope that the other will let them through, but whether that's really going to happen or not, that's to be determined. As it looks like that 81, while a little bit faster on leaving those corners, they end up super evenly matched coming into the turns. That stretch allows for a lot of time to be made or lost depending on how it's held. So if you're able to keep that inside lane just rolling, it's what benefits you. We look forward ahead on lap number 60, so we're halfway through. That's Richard Drake, your leader. He's been able to get himself into a fantastic position after the caution that Stephen Black decided to roll back in. You can see that gap right there. Just continues to grow each lap. All right, they decided to throw the competition caution. It was not close enough, so it looks like we're going to be under yellow flag once more. Richard Drake, though, is going to be your current leader. Let's bring him up for an interview. Let's see if he's in the Discord, and we'll go talk to him. Richard, this is Noah. Can you hear me? Richard, this is Noah. Can you hear me? All right, looks like microphone's not going to be it for now. Unfortunate. That's okay. Let's see. Someone else we can interview. Yeah, there we go. Let's get Brandon up here. 2nd position. That'll work. Brandon, this is Noah up in the booth. Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, man?
How's it going? You got yourself into the 2nd place.
I'll take it after the way my race started. That was not what I was hoping for, but glad that I was able to drive my way back up here.
You've done an amazing job so far. You've been able to hold off so many people, getting yourself into such a great spot. How do you think you've done it?
Honestly, me and the guys behind me, so Brian, Jeff, and Wes, we did some practices this week, and that really helped us kind of figure out a strategy and how, like, where to run and everything. So, yeah, I would say definitely just getting practicing and just kind of getting used to the track.
That makes a lot of sense. We've seen one of the things I've noticed so far is so many Toyota Camrys are running up front. What do you think's going on with that?
To be honest, I think just a lot of the guys in this series really like driving the Toyota Camry. So I think there's just an abundance of them in here. So I think the more you have, the more cameras are just going to be at the front of the field.
Well, sure, but I do know that there are a decent amount of Camaros as well. I think the main lacking is Mustangs.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Still, it's good to see that the little bit of an underrepresented manufacturer, even in real life, is doing so well here.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Still, I think it's so far been a great race. I'm glad you guys were able to have a competition caution at lap 60. A lot of you guys needed it.
Oh yeah, definitely. We, especially with how fast the tires fall off here, you just got to play a lot of strategies. So, luckily the competition caution comes at halfway point, so we can evenly space out the tires from there.
Yeah, that really does help. Well, I just wanted to let you know before I sign off, you got a lot of people in chat supporting you on.
Yeah, I know. I know my family, some of my friends too are watching this race tonight. So I hope we're putting on a good show for them. So, and everybody else that's watching too.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. I do appreciate it, and good luck.
Thanks. I hope you enjoyed the rest of the race. I hope everyone else does too.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. So that was Brandon there. I'm super glad to have him with us. That was a great interview. I'm glad that we have a lot of really upbeat guys with us that really do help put on this show and make it better. As much as I do try, I know sometimes my little bit of incompetence and sometimes my voice can get a little bit annoying. So trying to make it a bit more interesting always helps. Still, it's going to be the Florida's Natural 180 here at Homestead-Miami. We'll be back to green pretty shortly, and until then, I'll be right back. All right, we return going down the backstretch. That's the number 48 of Michael E. York. Going to be taking that leading position, running on his second pit stop. I don't know if he came in for tires. You can see there all these guys are getting ready to go. Let's see how this restart ends up. About to our blimp camera, as our drivers now are about to go green. Pace car is off. There it is, green flag, and away they go here at Homestead-Miami. Once more, it looks like Michael E. York has a bit of a... looks like he's sleeping on that restart, maybe missed a gear or something. As now Brandon at 39 is going to be coming on the inside, making it 3 wide up into turn number 1, and they now are rolling away with it. There they go. Boogity boogity buddy, that's right. Here we go. And that is going to be Stephen Black up into 4th for the moment. Is he able to keep it as Richard Drake continues to roll away from the rest of the field? Stephen Black, we saw him lead a ton of laps earlier, but I think Richard Drake does not want that to happen. He's got some allies behind him. Is that going to make the difference? That is going to be the real question we have tonight, is will that make the real difference? There's Stephen Black now. He is continuing to put the pressure on. It looks like we have a bit of a issue there. It looks like Michael did not quite have the pace in his tires to stay in first position as he now rolls back. Unfortunate, but that's what happens if you don't really go in to take tires often enough. We've seen Steven do that before, where he just keeps going in for tires, and it works out in his favor. Being able to recover, it really does make a difference. Jeffrey Belk, for the moment, is going to be running in 5th as he's getting a lot of pressure from Brian. These two were fighting earlier, and I believe they're going to be doing it again now. There it is. That's the 81. They're so close together. Honestly, I don't know how some of these guys do it and stay so competitive this entire time. The number 9 right there of Wes Gallo, he's going to be putting a little bit of pressure on if he can, but it looks like he's having a little bit of connection issues as well, so I got to be mindful of that. There's Rob Carl. Thank you again to who corrected me out there. I do appreciate it. I'm sorry. And this goes to anyone. If I'm butchering your name, please tell me. I hate to do it. He's putting a bit of pressure now onto that 9 machine. Bit at his quarter. You do not want to come up when you're clear like that. That high line, well, it's been really good to West so far. I mean, staying in the top 10 for a lot of this race now, that has really put him in a good spot. You do not want to ride up there too much, as it likes to cause a little bit of issues with your pace. A lot of these guys continue to run through. Look up here, and you can see there just in the bit of the frame, that's Jeffrey and Brian still awfully close. I wonder if they're trying to put a bit of a pressure onto the guys behind them. Running too wide will block them from running forward, so it's potentially a strategy. That's something you got to think about, is what is your team strategy? You know, is it going to be keep blocking the outside lanes and not let them through, or is it going to be trying to really... I'm not sure. But it looks like they're going to be running a bit more single file now, as it is currently the fastest way around this track. Here's the number 88 at Tyler Hallahan. We have not seen much of him, as he's now getting some pressure on from Michael York and Kyle Mundell. Kyle going up there, and it looks like they're going to work together to put him locked against that wall. You can see that high line. We've talked about it with Wes. It does provide a bit of some tire saving capabilities, but is not the end all solution. So it looks like in this situation, it did get them by, and well, sadly, it looks like Tyler will have to suffer there. There's the number 8 of Mark LaPierre. Also haven't seen a ton of him this race in his Kenny Drugs Chevrolet Camaro. It's so weird not seeing so many Camrys. It's the difference now. There's Mark going by that 8 machine now. Looks like that is going to be Tyler losing some steam. Unfortunate. Patrick Coluccio there. Saw him a little bit earlier. He is now going to be trying to see if he can get Tyler as well. I wonder if Tyler has a bit more damage than it shows. Or if he's trying to save his tires. Or maybe some fuel too. It does make a difference being able to save that. So, we'll have to see. Jumping back up towards the front of the field, we see Stephen Black here in 4th position, trying to see if he can make a difference now. He's chasing down that number 39 to see if he can get through. He wants that lead back. He was able to pull away by many, many seconds, as Richard Drake is not quite able to do the same, but he does have almost a second gap on Daniel. Perhaps if Daniel can get by Richard, he can slow them both down enough for Stephen to catch back up. Just a theory, though. You never know. Honestly, I think we've been kind of just ticking through these laps at this point. You know, getting through our halfway point, we're moving right along. Honestly, the Homestead-Miami races in real life are not really that long either. They like to tick through them. I know that the Homestead race was just on tonight. A lot of people were able to finish up that race and join in, which is fantastic. So, Stephen Black got by, and he is now going to be hunting down Daniel and Richard. Well, I wanted to do it a little bit earlier in the race, but I was not quite able to do it due to a caution coming out right at the unfortunate time. It is now going to be the time when I head into the camera on the inside of one of these cars, and I'm going to have to tell you to crank it up. right, I'm going to have to tell you to turn up your volume just a little bit or do whatever you need to as I lower the car volume down just a bit more once again. All right. Should be back to our normal volume we were at. Gotta love the sound of these cars. They always just sound so good. Those roaring V8 engines and whew. I understand that a lot of those other racing out there, like Formula One, it's always fascinating to watch. But I don't think any other racing series quite has the sound that these cars do. Except for maybe drag racing, but nah, you're just going in a straight line. Anyway, you see all these guys continuing to put on a great show so far. That's Brandon running in fourth. And it looks like a lot of these guys are pretty content with the positions they have. There's no one really that close to each other for the most part. Except for maybe a bit here as... that's Kyle Mundell. Is that... there it is. That's Paul Ems. I thought that was Greg there for a moment. I was like, hey, he's not here. So that's Kyle now. These two are some of the closest on the field. There's a couple other close ones, but not many. So now these two racing, we've seen them together for a lot of this race so far. I wonder if they're going to try to work together a bit more to see if they can change it up. See if they can try to get by. You know, if they can make a difference, then maybe it's the right thing to do. As right now, everyone's kind of staying put. So if you have a driver you want me to check out, then call it out in the chat. Let me know. I'll gladly take a look at a lot of these drivers out in the field. Everyone has such great paint schemes, and I think it'll turn out real good. If we have another caution, I'll make sure to pull up someone if possible. You can see Paul Ems now is going to be pulling away from Kyle and does not want to give him that position. It's interesting to see how that all works, honestly. So there's Patrick Coluccio, though. He is going to be running in 11th. As you can see on your screen there. Everyone's kind of just chilling right now. Like I said, not a ton of real close battles. So I guess it's probably a great time to mention that this series is sponsored by Black Designs. Now, perhaps Stephen Black, right there, as you can see, in that number 98 Toyota Camry, did not design the 55,000 seats that are here at the 1.5 mile oval of Homestead-Miami. But he does make some really great iRacing designs. As you can see, the one he's running right now, that Raise Energy paint, as he is an ambassador, just to let you know. So if you need your paint and you want it to look fantastic, make sure you check out Black Designs. He also, you see that Florida 180 in that bottom right-hand corner? He designs that too. All those little race icons I get are from Steven. So if you want some great looking graphics just in general, make sure you check out Black Designs. So, and I also know Steven is quite approachable. Nice guy. In other case, I gotta tell you about the 600 acres here at Homestead-Miami with the over 1,000 palm trees. That was first raced in 1995 in the Xfinity Series. I think you can tell I just wrote a bunch of things down on a note card. In any case, they're still running pretty well, and all these guys are really just getting their laps in once again. Sometimes it's just what you have to do. You don't want to put too much of a pressure on any one part of your car or on any one person, so you just kind of get your racing in. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so we can see a little bit more, but that's really just how it goes. I had to get a little bit of some home in there. This is the song Pixelus, as far as I know on the pronunciation. We all know that I'm so great with pronunciation, so. But yeah, has some good music, and thought I'd put some of that on as it fits the Miami vibe, being a bit of a synthwave kind of song. Mark LaPierre up into 11th. He's doing pretty good now. Had a little bit of a trouble earlier on in this race, which is unfortunate. I know Jenny said a lot of these guys, including himself, are just not really, 1.5 oval guys. You gotta, figure out what your strengths are. If your strengths are super speedways, you gotta make sure you do well in the super speedways. If your strengths are quad ovals, got to get those quad ovals. Tri-ovals, same thing. All those tracks drive differently. Even if they're pretty similar. Las Vegas and Kansas, they look pretty similar, but in reality, they're quite different racetracks. Homestead and New Hampshire, you know? This is half a mile bigger and drives a lot different than New Hampshire. So, you just got to figure it out. What is your kind of racetrack? Actually, you know what? That's a great question. If you're watching out in the stream right now and you have the ability because you're not driving, tell me what your kind of racetrack is in terms of NASCAR series. If it's a road course, that's awesome. These guys do go to road courses as well. Later on soon, actually, we're going to be heading over to Canadian Tire, a place NASCAR has not been in quite a while. All right, that's going to be Richard Drake, and I believe, who else came in with him? Daniel Michael, yeah. Those two, they went into the pits. That puts Stephen Black out back into the lead. Stephen has been hunting back for that lead since a couple cautions ago. So at this point, I'm sure right now he is just absolutely thrilled to be in that kind of position. Once again, we can see that bit of a track info there. It looks like the one on my screen is a bit more accurate. 76 degrees Fahrenheit. In terms of track temperature, actually that might be outside temperature. That is it's still either way, 80 or 76. That is cooler than a lot of these track temps you'll see as they get hot. So if they're able to do that as the wind's dying down as well, it all makes a difference. Any issues that we get here, we'll make sure we're sorted out by next week. This is our first time with our new overlay package. Pretty similar to a certain broadcasting type, if you can see. Matthew, thank you for being in the chat. I see that. I appreciate it. Favorite track is Bristol. Awesome, man. Looks like short tracks are your thing. Sadly, your engine went. Man, that's unfortunate. It's your 85 machine out there. But Bristol, nice. Gotta love those short tracks, high banks, and all that kind of stuff. That's great. Anyone else in there? Make sure you pull yours up too. As knowing anyone's kind of favorite track is pretty cool. So there's Rob Carl at the moment, holding off the number 34 of Kyle Mundell, who's now going on his inside and does want to get through. Although I'm not quite sure he has the pace to do it just yet, Kyle is looking competitive. You can see him there. He's now going to be coming up on that inside. Is that enough? Not quite. Unfortunate. Someone just said in our chat right there, the arrow is bad. Yeah, you are not mistaken. We had a bit of a mention earlier on in our chat over on our Discord for CASCAR. Make sure you check that out as well. That they were just ready for arrow push. And effectively, that's what it is. Uh-oh. That's going to be the number 34 of Kyle Mundell past Rob Carl. Pretty clean pass there. Obviously, these two are not going to be fighting each other too much. They know where the line is. You don't want to put too much pressure on someone that might be able to help you out later. We've seen the battle on for a while, though. So, it's good that at least some positions are being made. He's up at a third, though. Kyle Mundell is. That is mighty impressive. There's Brian Fradian now, up into second position. Has been for a little bit, just haven't set up. With his 81 Toyota Camry. Paul Ems is back here. Uh-oh. Looks like Rob is going to be coming into the pits this time by, but came down real quick. That is going to reshuffle your grid, putting Wes Gallo and Mark LaPierre into 5th and 6th, respectively. It's people we haven't really seen too much up into the front up here. Michael Jennings running in 7th with someone we talked to a bunch earlier on, and looks like he is going to be doing okay as well. This pit cycle is going to be very interesting to see who goes where and how that gets handled. Stephen Black coming into the pits now, putting Brian into the lead. Paul Ems decides to stay out too. that is going to put them into a different kind of position. Their tires are going to be worn, but perhaps in this pit time, they can do a bit more. I'd like to thank you, Matthew, for that very nice message. I'm sure Steven appreciates that. I know I do. That's Paul coming into the pits, I think, this time. Unless those fresh tires. No, the fresh tires aren't that quick in comparison. I'm sure Jennings appreciates that too, Michael. I'm sure. It's very nice of you. Thank you. Wes Gallo now up into second position. Still has not come in for tires yet. But this is the highest he's ran tonight. I'm sure right now he's quite happy to be up there, but he is going to be having to pitting in soon, not only for potentially some fuel, but his tires that we were talking earlier, the tire fall off is just so bad. Wes is running the few Mustangs, though. That is the number 48 on his outside. Everyone going on by. One of the few Mustangs, though. That's good. Having a bit of diversity in your field for who's driving is always good. That's Michael Jennings now into the lead. I'm sure he's happy to be up there, and he is on his third pit stop. So this is potentially a great situation for him. Although that is Rob on his outside, though. He has to be mindful of that. Looks like these two are going to be fighting mighty close. That's Jennings, though, looking like he's slowing down and is going to be going into the pits. Potentially this time. No, not quite. Looks like he just has lost a lot of pace. Wow. I feel like I'm missing something then. Huh. Unfortunate. Maybe he just didn't want to fight too much, but that is a very big speed difference. And it's something you're going to want to watch. He's been doing really good so far. That's Kyle Mundell now. Also coming by. I think that he still needs to pit. Yep, that's what it is. Even though Michael Jennings is on his third pit stop, because he had to come in earlier, it's going to put him in such a not great place. So he's just trying to keep it out for as long as possible, while a lot of drivers get themselves unlapped. Richard Drake is your second driver for the moment, and he is 11 seconds back. However, because this is a pit cycle, we don't really know how it's going to end up. Perhaps if Jennings can keep up this really long game and he has just enough fuel, he can keep that gap big enough so that the third place of Brandon Fiedler can... I butchering it, I swear. He can't get himself to a point where he wins this race. If Jennings is able to stay out, but he doesn't, he comes in. He needs it. Although that gap is going to help him a lot, though, which is good. Jeffrey Belk on the outside now of Brian Fradian, who now Brian is a decent bit quicker through that corner there. We saw him going through 3 and 4. The 81 just was able to take that right away. There it is. That's Richard Drake as your leader now, having a 12-second gap. Richard Drake, who was, I believe at this point, led the most amount of laps, got himself into a great spot. You can see there, he started in third, now first. That's great. 12-lap tire stint. Yeah, this man's doing good. He should be able to finish out the rest of this race on these tires. He is going to be mindful of them. This tire fall off is going to be pretty severe, but I think he might be just doing just okay. Look at that, Sylvan. We haven't seen him too much of him. He's been running towards the rear, but it looks like he's going to get himself on lap now if possible. A lot of these drivers doing real good. I'm sorry that the iRacing camera does not want to be cooperative today. Don't know what's up with it. I'm going to have to look into that. That is one thing I can say for certain. The new overlay package did not cause. I think that's just iRacing on Homestead-Miami being a little bit funky. These guys doing real good, though, and I'm sure that Stephen Blackwell may not be in first and currently running 11th, which is his, I believe that's his low for the moment. He's got to be happy with how it's turning out so far. Jeffrey Belk is being able to maintain a pretty good pace for the moment. he has a decent cushion behind him and in front of him. Well, I don't want to do that, so let's go up to an aerial view and take a look at what's going on. See just how much gap there is between everyone. No one is really that close together. These space outs had just happened due to these cautions. Not even just the cautions, really. Just all the spacing out. That's a track as drivers get thinner and thinner. I think we're down to 18 drivers now after a decent amount of wrecks and other unfortunate incidents such as Matthew's engine blowing. So that's the kind of stuff that happens here. Your driver amount gets thinned out because people have to go, and even though this race is perfectly on time, the series just gets thinned out. But we have had a lot of competitive drivers for the moment, and I think it's going to remain that way for the rest of our race so far. Not too much left to go, as Richard Drake is your man in first position. There's not a lot of people left a lap down anymore. Currently, the drivers out on the field that are laps down are Cody Schneider in the 4, Nick Shriver right there in the 1, who keeps toggling between 1 and 2 laps down there with Richard. Looks like he's going to be down to 1 now. A lot of them just don't have too much left to go. Everyone else is on the lead lap, but there's so much spacing between the rest of them, I can't really tell what's going on. But it looks like Jeffrey Belk now is going to be putting some pressure onto the number 39 as we finally have something more to watch. There we go. I shouldn't say it like that. These guys have been doing great. So the outside lane looks like it's going to be Jeffrey's lane still. He's been riding that lane all night, and it looks like it's working for him. 39 is going to hand it to him, though. Does not want to put too much of a fight. Honestly, these drivers have been going for such a long time. Just killing the car now is not worth it. Never will be. So our race session is perfectly timed as well. So there's not too much time left in the iRacing session either. Here's Brian Fradienne now up in the second position with less than 10 to go. There's Richard Drake. It looks like when the number 1 now is having a bit of a spin. Is he going to be a cause of a caution? Nope. Looks like just a single car accident on the bit of nice coloring there. So it looks like there's not going to be a caution. No need to be anyway. It's just a car off the racing line, and so unfortunate for him, though. He was able to, try to claw himself back. Nick has not gotten a lot of airtime either. That is just rough. I hate to see it. I know he wasn't able to stay here long, but I know that number 15, Michael, he was running a tribute car, but I wasn't able to get it, which sucks. Hopefully he can run it soon as well, so that whoever needs to see it can. Shouldn't say it like that either. Goodness. It was a nice tribute car, and I want to make sure he gets his airtime like he's supposed to from it. Tribute to a friend's mom, and I hope he gets the opportunity sometime soon to be able to share that because it's needed. So with about a 6-second of a gap, that's Richard Drake currently running in first still. Coming in with 5 to go, and as soon as we cross the start-finish line once more through 3 and 4, it has been turning out to be it's been a nice long race. These guys have put up a lot of laps, and it really turned out great. So many of them have been able to finish up the race so far and be very competitive. So it's good having such a good field that is able to race hard and be together and create some good moments. So I'm sure a lot of these guys are going to be happy to go back through and see whatever they can. There's Rob Carl there. Running in that 2 machine. Does not have much around him either. Head up to the Blimp Cam to see how distant he is. Yeah, you can see it in front. Just kind of how it goes, you know? Stephen Black, who was able to get off to a fantastic start of this race, is now back in 12th. You can see him back there. It's struggling. Just unfortunate. Him in his Raise Energy car. There's Marc LaPierre coming up on his side a little bit there, and his number 8 Kenny Drugs. Your previous race winner, Michael Jennings, currently running in 10th. He's got himself that top 10 he wants. Is he going to be able to finish it out for just the last couple of laps? And with these last couple of laps, let's follow along with your race with your race leader for so long, unless he has a low fuel, which is potentially possible, wanting to maintain that fuel run. I think that it's safe to say that Richard Drake is probably going to be your winner. So, these guys have done just a great job being able to finish out this race. Below cautions, only 4. 120 laps at Homestead? Come on, that's great. It's good for these. I shouldn't say like that either. Goodness. That's great for just a race in general. Being able to keep out for that long and just put up a great fight. So there it is. Lap number 119 of 120 at Homestead. That's Richard Drake. Rational Richard Drake. He is in a great spot. Well, here we go now. Down the backstretch, running through 3, about to go into 4. There it is. Don't worry about where I call that line, where 4 is. Down the front stretch, and here he goes. One last time here at Homestead, lap 120. It is the white flag, and we're going to bring this race to a conclusion. There he is, Rational Richard Drake, running in first, has a almost 7-second gap to the leader. Not to the leader, to the person behind. Goodness, it's late. I'm tired. Jeffrey Belk running in third. Rounding turn number 4. Here he comes down the front stretch. One last time and across the line. There he is, everyone. Your race winner, Rational Richard Drake. Put up a fantastic fight. Was able to get the most amount of laps led. This man has just done a great job. Wow, what a finish. Was able to lead so many laps and got himself a race win. Absolutely deserves it. We haven't seen him too much at Daytona, but it looks like he wanted to save up that energy to get himself another Florida win and get himself that victory here at Homestead. Do some victory burnouts or, backwards lap. Do what you need to get that celebration in. Although he did say he is rational, so it's possible he's just going to bring the car to a stop. Yep, just brings the car to a stop. Wow. All right. So here's your final results, everyone. There he is, your race winner, Rational Richard Drake, followed by Brian Fradian, who brings up second position. In third, that's Jeffrey Belk. Kyle Mundell in fourth. Brandon Feidler in fifth. God, I keep doing that. Rob Carl in sixth. Paul Ems in seventh. Wes Gallo brings up eighth position. Michael Jennings is in ninth. Michael E. York is going to be 10th position. 11th is going to be Sylvan. And then in 12th, that is going to be, as soon as it loads back in, 12th is going to be Marc LaPierre. 13th, that's Tyler Hallahan. 14th, that's Patrick Coluccio. 15th, Stephen Black. Fell back at the end. Unfortunate for him. 16th, Cody Schneider. 17th, Nick Schreiber. 18th, Daniel Michael. 19th, Matthew Molavanya, who was not able to rejoin our race due to his engine. Unfortunate. Then in 20th is going to be Brian Morrison. 21st is going to be Michael Kenzie. 22nd, Clint Mata. 23rd, Greg Snellgrove. And rounding out the last, who was not able to race due to unfortunate connection issues, is going to be Jackson Qualley. All right, well, with that, let us get some people to come up and interview with us. Let's take a look who's here. All right, Jeffrey Belk, let's bring him up first with us. Jeffrey, it's Open the Booth. Can you hear me?
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing? You got yourself a great podium finish.
That was a great race.
You did a great job. I mean, you were able to keep up so much pace, and you only ran the high line, really.
Yeah, it worked for me before. I thought I'd try it again this time.
Well, I can't diss, trying to get yourself into a good spot. Clearly, as you said, it worked before. It's worked again. Aside from just that strategy of staying on the outside the entire time, what else was your strategy throughout this race?
Just try to save the tires as much as possible. Give us a shot at the end. We started catching Brian in second, but we just didn't have enough time. But another couple of laps, we could have had second out of that.
I can see that gap there. I mean, it's mighty close. What do you think caused the entire field to get so spaced out at the end there?
Everyone's coming in at different times, and I don't know how the 41 pulled out so far, but just everyone coming in at different times, different wear levels, and then just different amounts of push. And some pushed as soon as they came out, some way closer to the end. Makes a big gap change.
Yeah, it really does provide a very interesting perspective on, who gets into what position. But I would say for a podium finish, you did really good. I know you were a bit disappointed you weren't able to get the win at the CASCAR 250. So how do you feel about your podium here now?
It's a long time coming. Kind of new to the league, but I've had good chances here, and finally something comes fruitful of it, and we got a good points paying finish.
You absolutely did. Well, thank you very much for your time. Is there anyone out in the audience you want to thank tonight?
As always, I want to thank NASCAR Geek, Helmet Stalker, Equipment Geek, Sports Star, Week Designs for making this car every week, and everyone back at the shop. And you for broadcasting, everyone out there for watching.
All right. Thank you very much for your time. I do appreciate it. And I'll see you next week. All right. That was Jeffrey Belk, your third place finisher. Now let's get Brian up here. We talked to him a little bit earlier, but I'm sure right now he is happy to, hold on. Nope. Let's get, oh goodness. Oh man, I'm tired. Let's get your second place finisher, Brian, up with us. Okay. Brian, it's Open the Booth. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing? You got yourself a second place finish.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about that. Like, being new to the league, didn't know exactly how I was going to shake out compared to the guys, but this is pretty awesome.
I mean, I would say you had to do an amazing job just to run out in front basically the entire time.
Yeah, the rest of the team, the rest of the EG guys and we all put in we put in a couple of practice sessions to figure out what we were going to do and stuff like that. But yeah, it was pretty awesome.
I would have to say so. You and the EG guys were absolutely destroying the field tonight.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I have all through four of us. Unfortunately, Cody got involved in an accident earlier on in the race, but I mean, it's unfortunate, but it sounded like he was able to pull out a top 20, maybe 16th, which is huge. And having the three of us run in the top 5 was pretty awesome.
Good. I'm glad that you guys were able to be so successful. What do you think was your attack to success?
I was just trying to, step one was to just not put it in the wall. Pretty successful on that end, which was good. Other than that, it was just kind of try and conserve the tires, kind of just see how the other guys around us or around me were running the lines, and then taking it from there. And then kind of just my tactic was kind of just run the stint as long as possible and just try and see if something would, if a caution would come out or not. And it kind of helped at the end because I was rolling, or I was bringing in the leader, Richard, pretty quick, and it was good until the tires just hit the wall. But yeah,
Unfortunately, that's kind of the stuff that happens with this insane tire fall off at Homestead. It feels like lap 15, your tires are perfectly fine. Then you go into lap 22, and your tires are just gone.
Yeah. Yup. So,
well,
yeah, it was good.
I'm glad that you had such a great race and were able to get yourself a good podium finish. Is there anyone out in the audience you'd like to thank tonight?
Yeah, my dad. If my dad's watching, it'd be hi. It's cool. But I just want to thank the guys at the EG, the rest of the guys in EG for letting me join the team and all that stuff, and for Wes for doing the paint design. That was pretty awesome, and he really surprised me on that one. So, yeah, that's all the people I gotta thank.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. I do appreciate it, and congratulations on your second place.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, that was Brian Fradian. Now let's bring up Rational Richard Drake with us and see if he has his mic with us. Richard, it's Noah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I got a copy. Noah, how are you doing?
Awesome. I'm glad to hear you. How are you doing? You got yourself a race win.
Oh man, I'm pumped. I'm really happy. I've had a lot of fun racing with this group. I joined them last year and just tagged along for a couple of races at the end, and it's my first win in the group. They're a wonderful group of guys to race with.
Absolutely. I mean, I have to say that every single time I broadcast, everyone is just always so nice.
For sure.
I know during the shootouts and during during the last race at Daytona, you were able to be really competitive, but unfortunately got caught up in just accidents, or ended up someone was able to just shoot by you. How does it feel to finally be able to really shoot by and take that win by 7 seconds?
Oh, it feels great. We took a big gamble at the end there because you never know when a yellow is going to come out. So we don't run enough fuel in these Cup cars to be able to make the whole race. So I knew I had to pit somewhere around lap 90, and the question was, do I try to stay out a little later than everybody else, or do I try to do the short pit? And the field had been running really. There's a lot of respect out there. It was really clean. We had that really long green flag run at the beginning. So I said, maybe that's going to happen again. I'm going to run the short pit and see if I can put down some faster times and just try to extend that lead for a bit and take some of the pressure off the end. And sometimes you get lucky like tonight and it worked out, and sometimes you pay for those decisions. So I'm glad to have been on the good end of things tonight.
Well, absolutely. It totally paid off. And honestly, it's a strategy call completely between each of these different races, but especially at Homestead, where you never know what's coming.
Sure, and we've seen that in if anyone's been watching the NASCAR races this weekend, I mean, they've been just crazy, lots of unexpected stuff happening. And what I think is really cool, and a kudos to iRacing for simulating so well, is the tire fall off. Both in real life and in iRacing, you've really got to manage your tires well here.
I was just talking with Brian about that. It feels like lap number 15, you have completely fine tires, and 22, it feels like you're on ice skates.
Absolutely. I think what was saving me is I had practiced really trying to kind of launch it into the corner in the right angle and get the car's rotation to flow. And sometimes you hit it, sometimes you don't. But I guess the practice paid off, and I was able to put it together at the end.
Well, I'd certainly say it paid off. You did a fantastic job and stole that win away right from Steven, who was leading so many at the beginning laps.
Thank you very much.
All right. Well, sorry, please go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to give a big shout out to Pat Healy of the Laker News. Thanks a lot for sponsoring me, and to Covey's Auto Recyclers and my team Kinetic Racing. So thanks very much.
Man, I was just about to ask if there was anyone you wanted to thank.
Super. I guess we're on the same wavelength.
Look at that. All right. Thank you very much for being up here. I do appreciate it. And go celebrate that win.
Will do, Noah. Thanks a lot for the broadcast. It's great to watch these.
No problem. Glad to be here.
Take care.
You too. All right, that was Rational Richard Drake. That was going to be your race winner, and got it by a whopping 7 seconds. Wow. It just shows you what the skill these guys have. I mean, you saw earlier what Steven has 4,000 I rating. A lot of these guys are just really good. I want to thank everyone who's come out to the stream, not only to watch, but follow too. I'm not sure if it's updated, as I keep seeing there's a lot more followers in, but it says we're not quite at 50 yet. I'm not sure about that. We'll have to check that. Thank you, everyone, though, for coming out to watch. And please, at any point, comment if something's wrong. I'm just a one-man operation out here, so if I forget to turn on the speakers, you got to tell me. I do appreciate it, though, for everyone coming out. And, I've been your host, Noah Walter, with twitch.tv/4cloak. Make sure to give it a follow, and make sure you follow everyone with CASCAR here. Obviously, all these guys are super talented, and they've absolutely just done a fantastic job. Well, that's going to be it for me. So I'll see you guys next week. And it's going to be at Texas for the BTT 150. Well, until then, I'll see you.